My ex-husband abused me when we were together, and I honestly, really, truly hope that he is doing well, and I wish him all the best for the future. I don't want him back. I'm not still in love with him. I don't even have anything to do with him. We don't have any contact or communication. And I still wish him well because he has children and because he will continue to be in relationships where I fear his partner may get hurt. So I really do hope that he accesses the help and support that he needs, that he heals any past traumas that he's experienced, because he has children with me and with another woman who deserve to have a father who is at his best so that he can take care of them and love them and spend time with them the way that they do deserve and the way that they do need and crave. It hasn't been like that up until now. I know that he's in, well, last I was told, he's in a new relationship, and I really hope that he has changed and that he has improved, because I would never want any partner of his, no matter how much I hated him, to experience the abuse that I experienced or that many other victims experience. I don't want that for anybody else. So when we first separated, I used to feel really anxious and stressed over what if he is better for somebody else. I didn't want to be looking at myself like, what is wrong with me that he couldn't change for me? And how could he do that for someone else? And that was never the case. Those relationships after we separated were just the same because he hadn't done any work. He hadn't sought any help. He hadn't accessed any, drug counseling or support or addiction counseling. So it was never any different. But, 10 years later, like I said, he's got children who deserve a father, and he has a current partner and, potentially future partners if this relationship breaks down, who will always be at risk of being in a relationship with somebody who chooses to use violence as a means of exerting their power and as a means of getting their own way. So men who choose to use violence are dangerous, and it doesn't matter that we're not together anymore. We don't communicate. I think the last time we even spoke was easily 1 or 2 years ago, and that was something to do with an issue that he was having, weirdly enough. But we don't speak. I don't have any communication with him. We don't have any interactions. Our children are old enough now that if they do go up and see him, they drive themselves or catch the train. I don't do drop-offs anymore, but I still wish him well because other people deserve that too. I don't know that it's not my place to warn anybody. I used to feel that way, but I just don't now because we all have our individual journeys, and it's something that you need to learn because it can't just be told. I never believed anybody who told me that a previous partner of mine was abusive. I didn't see it. So it didn't seem logical or practical or true to me. And I disregarded what everybody said. So I very much keep that in mind when my ex-husband and even my ex-partner began new relationships. I kept that in mind that I didn't believe anybody either. And so I don't think it's anybody's place to be warning anybody. They could have changed in the meantime. Depends on the work that they did and the help that they sought. But I don't think it's your job. It's not my job to let her know. I'm sure she's heard things, and that is up to her what she does with them. That's up to her, what red flags she chooses to acknowledge or what red flags she chooses to ignore, because we've all been there, and I'd be a hypocrite if I was trying to warn somebody else of everything that I'd experienced. I just want, my children to have a father that they really do deserve, that father that they needed. And so I do wish him well, even though he abused me, even though he called me horrendous names, and even though he made me feel like I was nothing. I still wish him well, because that's more to do with me than it is to do with him. I have come to a sense of, forgiveness and closure because that feels better for me. It's not about forgiving him for what he's done. It's about letting it go and not letting it consume me, not holding on to anger, not holding on to the rage and the damage that was done. It's about letting that go and forgiving myself for staying in a situation longer than I know I should have. It's forgiving myself for feeling like I put up with so much and for feeling like I deserved all of that. It's been more about forgiving myself, but I still wish him well. I still hope that he becomes, a person that he's proud of, and a person that my children are proud to call their dad. And that's just a part of life. So I'm Lisa from Lisa's Sanctuary, sharing my perspective as a victim, survivor, thriver of childhood abuse and domestic violence. You are significant because you are, and I love you because you exist.